This is season 1, episode 8 of the Money Talks, Money Matters podcast featuring Courtney Douglas. He's crazy in the mortgage business right now. He's absolutely killing it. Just graduated a year ago.
Graduated 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's making shit happen. So just tell us a little about yourself.
My name's Courtney Douglas. I'm from the Coral Springs area. Born and raised. Grew up just playing sports. Been around real estate for a little bit. Both my parents are real estate investors. They own about like 4 quadruplexes in Fort Lauderdale. So I've been a property manager for about 10 years. Been collecting rent, mowing grass, doing everything for property management. And then, when I graduated, I always knew I wanted to be in real estate. Didn't really want to be a real estate agent. Found the mortgage side, and it's been a blessing ever since. A blessing.
Got it. And I was talking to a lot of people who deal with mortgages and a lot of people in the mortgage business. Like we had Max.
Oh yeah,
Max come on the podcast, and he says that getting
he has a Max at his mortgage team.
Oh
no, I know he's talking
Max
about.
Fish.
Yeah.
Oh okay. I
That's
just
it, yeah.
checking.
Oh yeah. So having achieving your mortgage is like is it called, it's not called mortgage. Your mortgage license rather is like the hardest you can get. Like so just kind of walk us through that on like.
So my situation is a lot different than a lot of people. The average mortgage loan officer age is around like 30 to 40. Everyone in my office is older than me. But I started my junior year in college. I had it's like a whole plan. You gotta, this test it's difficult. It has about a 43% pass rate.
Yeah.
So before that, I started studying. I went to like a 20-hour class down here during one of my breaks in college. Started studying. I was like, there's no way I'm passing this. Like, I just didn't have enough time. And then after that, I just went full speed, just devoted time every single day. Went at it. I paid for like a crash course thing. That really helped. And then after that, I passed, and I passed by 1%.
1%. That's
so it's been a ride for sure. But I've had, like, for example, the person I work with now, he's been a big mentor for me. I mean, the dude's killing it with mortgages.
Name drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Brandenberger. He's a great mentor. He's been in my corner ever since I got in tune with him.
What's the biggest thing that he's helped you with as far as was it more mindset or more?
So it's a lot of things. It takes a while for people to build a mortgage book of business if they're not at the right company. For example, there are a lot of people that work for a bank. Banks typically you don't really need clients or stuff like that. People that are, for example, realtors. There's always people walking in to a bank and wanting to get a mortgage. When you go on the the lending and the broker side, you have to build your own book of business. And he has helped me with that. For example, like 2 weeks ago, I just got officially preferred lender at one of the biggest brokers in Boca. And I would never have done that without him.
Okay.
Like literally without him. It's been tough so far, just handling all that, but it's been amazing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And kind of just to go on a sidetrack and just to mention what we talked about earlier with your parents being like real estate investing, like that's something that I truly want to get into.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to assume that they started off at a semi-young age, 20s and 30s.
So actually, no. My parents are from Jamaica. When they first moved to the country, they worked their ass off. My dad, used to bike 2 miles to work every morning. After that, he would go work. My mom worked 3 jobs, literally 3 jobs. She worked 2 while she was pregnant with me. They're big savers, really big savers. And when the market crashed in about 2008, where houses were dirt cheap, they just pulled the trigger and bought some properties, and
oh my god,
it's benefited ever since.
It's paying dividends. So
yeah.
I mean, would you thank more of your mom and your dad for your financial knowledge that you have now?
Oh yeah. I'm not a flashy guy. Like, I drive a Nissan Altima.
Yeah.
Not a flashy guy. I mean, I dress nice, I guess, but not a big flashy guy. I'm not really flaunty or anything. And that's a testament to them. They're big savers. Ever since I was young, we've been cutting corners. They still run a budget every month.
Yeah.
Not that they need to. It's just that they're so stuck with that process.
So what did they have goals when they're saving, or did they just save just for the frugality of it?
Just the frugality of it, honestly. Like they're just like me, like not really big spenders, but they like to invest. For example, my mom has a pretty big stock portfolio. She's been building that ever since she started her first job, and that's something that she's kept ever since. And it's grown, paid dividends to her, and why flaunt her lifestyle? There's no point. She's old. She's like 50 something. My dad's 65. So they're just living their calm life, comfortable life. So
would you say, how much do you think you save out of your paycheck that you get?
So I actually have a budget myself. So I'm paid. I have a variable income. When you're a mortgage loan officer, you're paid commissions. When I first started, I was paid a little tiny salary with commission. And then after like a month of that, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. They're taking a chunk out your check. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it might not be a risky choice, but life's full of risks, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
So what's your budget look like?
So right now, I save a lot. I live with my parents. So I take a whole chunk out for, let's say rent or, stuff like that. So I'm saving about 60 to 70% of my income.
Wow. Okay. Do you invest at all?
Oh, I invest a lot. But, since about 2 months ago, I stopped paying, to the riskier side. I'm more into like, mutual funds and ETFs and things like that are going to grow and pay dividends.
So stocks are your main form of investment?
Yeah, for right now.
Do you ever tag team on your parents' property investments or?
No, not yet. It's crazy that you brought that up. My dad actually sent me a property like 2 days ago. He wanted me to look at. So I went through the whole process, like mortgage process, talked to everyone in my office. Hey, you think I can, do this thing? And I found out, when you're, I didn't find out. I knew that, but when you're applying for a mortgage, you have to have 2 years history of a certain. Yeah. So I was explaining to you guys before this, I was trying to go the bank statement route, but higher interest rate, the numbers just didn't.
How big of an interest rate was it?
So typically when you're bank statement loan, you're upwards to 3.6. You can even get to 4 depending on there's so many factors that go into mortgage.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, in my opinion, why don't you just do that and then wait a year and a half, then refinance that on top of it to get a lower mortgage?
So the situation that's in, when you have a property that's paying rental income, for example, I would move into it, use it as a primary property, but I'm still running numbers. Why move into a property that's not going to pay you? You know what I mean?
Correct.
So the numbers.
So you'd be breaking even basically.
Yeah, not even breaking even. I'll be paying like $300 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but know why? Still, it's an investment. Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, just like your parents are gonna hold on to it for for hopefully your entire life.
Oh yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get into is like, since I feel like you do have the capital. Why aren't you just gonna pull the trigger? Besides the interest rate.
Have you looked at the market yet?
It's fair, but if you picture, if interest rates go up and the feds are like, okay, whatever, screw them. Yeah. So it's like now you having a bank statement in like maybe 6 months to a year. It's probably going to be like 6 to 7%.
Yeah, but when you're running numbers, I take into account the property value like increase. So example, some areas in Florida, we're upwards of 4%, 6%. Probably in Parkland. There's houses growing by the month, $100,000 in equity.
That's fair.
So it's all about the numbers. Every property I look at, you got to run your numbers.
Yeah, and the whole point of this market, the reason why there's so many buyers in this market is because of the low interest rate. So if you can't get the low interest rate, then what's the point?
Then what's the point?
Yeah,
if you were buying a $300,000 house, you would have upwards of 5% interest rate. Right now, you can get a 3% interest rate on a $500,000 house. You'd be paying the same you would in the last 2 years. So
yeah. So you must be like wicked good at math. If you love numbers, like the way you say you love numbers, like you have to love kind of the game.
There's a lot of tools that you can use. For example, my parents have an Excel sheet they use. So basically, it runs everything. So you can put a purchase price, you can put your everything, and it can run your numbers for you. So there's a lot of tools you can use.
Is it open to the public, or is it their special tool?
We'll talk about it
after the podcast.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, and like, but even without all those extra stuff, there's an abundance of tools out there. Just free apps, free everything.
You can like Google. You can Google some, rental calculators, rental income calculators.
There's this one. Oh man, I forgot the name, but there's this one website. It's like a startup company that just came out.
Yeah.
It'll search the properties for you, and it'll give you all the information as how much profit you'll make if you rented a certain number. The tools are crazy.
Dude, there's so much information out to the public, and I'm so glad that like young individuals like us are so in tune with it, because a lot of the older public, they don't know about this.
It seems like you cannot sleep on this.
And there's such a curve that for example, the people I hang out with, or for example, the people I talk to on a regular basis are so like in tune with it that when you see certain stuff, you're like, man, I'm skipping a whole generation of knowledge.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so like. I'm with it. Like, I'm in front of it. I'm looking at it. I'm always up to date on this certain type of things.
Yeah, what really got me motivated was when I started talking to the older generation. I started talking to people 50 years old, 60 years old.
Dude.
And they were saying, oh, yeah, when I want to buy property, they had to go to, like, some place in the office and wait an hour in line just to get one piece of information. You say, like, and we take it for granted. We have social media. We have all these different things. But it's so accessible to us that you can't appreciate it. It's like when you go to someone, they give you free food, and then you're not as grateful for it because you don't have to pay for it or something like that. Like we don't appreciate it because it's so easy accessible.
And just like the older generation, it's so good to have older people in your corner.
Yeah, correct.
For example, like I mentioned earlier before, my branch manager, he's upward 40, and he's been in the mortgage industry for over 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, I'm 2 months in. I'm skipping anyone that would jump in the industry brand new at a certain company that's not you don't have a mentor or anything. Like you're at a loss.
Yeah.
That person's not going to help you, and there's a lot to learn. When you're 100% commission, dude, there's ways to get around certain things that are going to help you for longevity. And that's paid dividends for me.
And there's people like Mark Cuban that will say you don't need a mentor and you don't want anything, but because in his perspective, it makes sense where he says you should fight it out and everything like that. Because you need to have that grit that goes through entrepreneurship.
But you could still have a mentor and still learn a lot as the way goes. Like I'm still learning to this day. I learn something new every day.
Yeah, I try to have lunch with at least one person older than me at least once a week. If not like once a day, that would be a goal.
You're still gonna rug it out no matter what. You're learning stuff. You're in real estate. You have your own business.
Yeah.
I mean, we all technically have our own business. We're all working 100% commission. Yeah. So it's like, you're an entrepreneur, but that's the thing I love about being in real estate mortgage. A lot of people are so hesitant to get into something that's 100% commission, but that drives me.
Oh yeah.
Like that makes me happy. Like I wake up and I have something to shoot for. And
especially what you posted this morning. Like, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's kind of just adding on to what you said. You said, if you don't wake up to win, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's like, that's the one thing I truly respect about you every morning. You said, I think you wake up like 5:30 every morning and you're you know what? I'm going to dominate today. I'm going to make today my bitch.
Dude, every night I plan out my day.
Yeah. How deep do you plan out?
So, for example, I wake up at 5:20, 5:20ish, 5:30, and that's crazy. I tell people 5:30, like why 5:20? I'm like, dude, that's how much sleep I need.
Yeah.
But like I'm to the point. And I work out to about 7ish. After that, I'm prospecting.
Okay.
I'm prospecting, whether that's on social media, whether that's following up with people, and then from there on. I go into a work mode where, I got stuff I got to handle. I got fires I got to put out. I got stuff I got to check on. And, from there, it's probably back to prospecting, meeting with people, for example.
Yeah.
And, I'm big on planning out your day. I'm big on setting goals, too. If you're not setting goals, what's the point? There's a lot of people you come into tween with and, they have all these goals they have for themselves, but how are you going to get there? You got to set smaller goals to get to the bigger picture.
Yeah, a goal without a plan is just a dream.
That's
what they say.
Got a lot of dreamers here too.
Oh yeah. How would you say your friendship circle has influenced you?
My friends are awesome.
I noticed you hang out with Corey and all those people and all heavy hitters.
Yeah, I got a lot of people in my circle that just whatever they're doing it to the best ability. And I gotta think I don't got any friends that are just out here just living just doing whatever.
Did you have any at one point?
Yeah,
I mean, you can always say acquaintances. I'm talking close friends.
Yeah, I had friends growing up. They kind of just fade away. You come to a certain point in your life where it's like this person's bringing me down, not bringing you down, but like stopping you from like, if you got friends that, for example, you know, especially when I started college and you're just working out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got friends that are trying to like deteriorate your time. Like, hey, why aren't you like, dude, got stuff to do, got stuff to handle.
And yeah, and it's a big thing. That's just like energies attract, and if your energy isn't like, it just repels each other. It's on the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And then just recently, like you guys were talking about hanging out with people that are older than you, like
key.
Dude,
man.
you skip generations,
decades, bro.
And like, wait, sorry, go.
Just like growing up, you know, you have your mom or your dad. You're like, you don't know what you're talking about, or like, you'd be surprised, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I know, and I feel like that's the kind of the premise on why we started this whole thing. It's just because of the fact that it's like we are trying to gain as much knowledge as we can get from you, and also it's like take that out into the real world and just start making like making shit happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, like every guest brings something new to the table, and that's kind of what we love.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I really expected about, because we had Max too.
Yeah.
We had him come in, and he was he was ranked top. He was 150 in the nation.
Oh, he's killing it.
And then I think he's first in Florida.
He's
and it's just because of why? Because his circle. Because wait, I'm sorry.
You're good.
And I'm saying how it's like he really attracts other real estate agents, and I feel like you guys and real estate agents go hand in hand. So if you're not holding a real estate agent by the hand, you're not making money.
Exactly.
You're not making any money.
It's crazy because this business, you know, I don't like to call people my business partners. Like generally my friends. Yeah. Like everyone I work with, you know, whether that you're a top agent or you're bottom, like I don't care like how much deals you're doing. Like I'm here to create friendships. If you're not doing deals, how can I get you to that curve to where, you know, you're doing more? How can I, you know, teach you ways to get more leads, create a social media presence, provide value? And that's certain things. Like a lot of these, you know, older mortgage brokers, they don't work with like a small agent. I'm so against that.
I think the biggest lie that we've been told was almost because you say you want to create friendships. And I think that's a huge key as far as we've been grown to be taught that business relationships are completely different than friendships, completely different than... I even see some business relationships close to like girlfriends as close in how much you're talking, the way you like deal with each other, and the maturity that comes with it. I think that a relationship is a relationship no matter what avenue it's in. Exactly. You know, and I wish that people understood that more, because when you look at the movies and you see all this stuff, you see, oh, you have to be a certain way, and if you don't act a certain way, then you're not gonna have a friendship. And
yeah, but you know, like you said, mortgage and, you know, real estate go hand in hand. You know, especially on the, you know, the broker lending side, like I am, if you don't got good realtors that know what they're doing, that are, you know, intertwined with, say, a good company or people that are doing things, you know, you're gonna be at a loss. You know, it's hard, dude. You got to have people on your team that are, you know, on top of stuff. You know, whether they need something from you, whether you're giving it, or whether, you know, they can educate a buyer when, you know, you can't be there.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, especially like the younger realtors I work with, I like to explain the mortgage process to them, because what's the benefit of me just handling everything on the mortgage side? You know, how can I educate you so where you can pre-qualify someone before I even pre-approve them? You know what I mean? You're going to tell this person, hey, yeah, you make, you know, 10 grand a month, but did you do your taxes?
Yeah.
A lot of real estate agents, they won't even ask those type of questions. You know what I mean? And in reality, they're wasting their time. You know, in this business, it's all about time. If you're wasting your time showing properties to someone that's never going to get pre-approved for a property, what's the point?
Yeah.
Of course.
No, that's fair. And then also what I like is that in Blue Realty, like Max, he comes and he explains like the whole mortgage business to like everyone in the office, meaning that we can understand if someone's can be qualified for a $700,000 house, but you also have to take into account, which I didn't know, is like all their debts, their car, like another investment property, you know, like paying off child support, just anything and everything. Like you have to literally go through the strings of a shirt, and just start putting it together.
So I'm 2 months in, and I still have real estate agents that I'll come meet up with, and they have no clue what a mortgage is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but
something wrong with that.
There's something wrong with it.
Because they go hand in hand.
Exactly. You should at least know, you know, the certain bits and pieces that, you know,
at least dip your toes in it. Like,
exactly.
Figure out
in reality, why are you showing homes and wasting your time? you know, a lot of realtors still don't get their person pre-approved before they show homes. Yeah. Well, what you're going to put in an offer that the person can't, you know, so it's a lot of things that, you know, I'm glad that I've been taught.
And that goes into, I've always wondered, like, what makes a really, really successful business person? Because there's people with PhDs that can't run a proper business, and there's people that's never gone to high school that can build multi-million-dollar businesses. So it's like, what is the factor? You know, especially since industries are ever changing, they keep constantly changing. What's that X factor? And I realized that it's about how well do you know your industry? Yeah. How well do you know each term? How it's not even like the specifics of exactly how to say this to this person, but do you know every aspect? Do you know the mortgages? Do you know the paperwork? Do you know this? And how well do you know it like the back of your hand? And it's those people that really just make the million.
Exactly. Simple. And for example, like you just said, I'm reading a book about how you can be $1 million real estate agent because I want to know that. I work with real estate agents every day. Why would I, you know, learn that information? So of course. It's you know, to create a good book of business, one thing that I really like is information, but I like the team aspect.
Of course.
You have to have a great team.
Yeah.
Have to. Like I said, I started 2 months ago. I have people that are in my corner. You know, if I need something, like the mortgage industry, there's something new every day. I got people in my corner that have been in the industry for 30 years. If I don't know something, you know, I can ask them.
Yeah.
They'll get that information.
There's just those little things that you won't even think about.
Like you have to have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you have any friends in college who are now in the kind of like a business partner or a friend to you now? That you're working with mortgages or either real estate?
So I got a couple, you know, people that are on the financial advisor side. And you know how that benefits you if say someone, you know, they have a divorce or, you know, things in that nature that, you know, their finances are mixed up. That's a lead in itself. You know, to refinance a house, you can pull out equity that, you know, is untaxed. You know, there's people that can pull out $200K out their house and they don't even know that. Get a lower interest rate, still pay the same. They don't even know that information. So you get, you know, there's a lot of ways to, you know, get those type of people in your corner. And thank God I have those people in my corner. And I didn't know before when I graduated, you know, they talk about hitting your sphere of influence. You know, when you're creating a book of business or, you know, you're creating a business, you know, you're an entrepreneur, hit that sphere of influence first. And that's worked tremendously.
The spirit of influence?
Yeah.
Tremendously. It's, I was watching some interviews on millionaire CEOs and people that own companies, and they said people think that you need a 50-person team to run a successful business. And they said it comes down to 3 people. It comes down to the prospector, the person that executes the actual mission, and then the person that oversees everything like bookkeeping and things like that. So you need 3 superstars, not just normal people that will actually push for better.
And care about what they're doing.
And they said every person that's had the interview about that, they said that's all it took.
Yeah.
They were thinking they need 100 employees. They said no. Once they figured out all they need was 3 proper employees that they can count on, their business is 3x.
Yeah. Because you got to think about it. You know, there's so, like, especially like bookkeeping and like the clerical work.
Yeah.
You know, emails, phone calls, that takes up so much time.
Oh, yeah.
Takes up so much time. For example, my branch manager, he has 2 assistants. They take away, you know, calling. You know, he does make calls, but, you know, they take away half the emails that he has to send out, half of the phone calls he has to make, so he can constantly prospect and do other things that are, you know, urgent. So
yeah.
So do you prospect to realtors or do you prospect to potential homeowners? How does it work?
So it's both. I prospect with 3. I call myself a big hitter. I don't care who I go up to. I'll talk to anyone.
Yeah.
So, you know, I prospect brokers that already have a preferred lender. You know, I can do the job better. Realtors that already have been working with someone for 10 plus years and they think they have a connection, but then explain to them, hey, this person's doing this wrong. I can get this done faster than this person. You know, you don't have to use me every time, but trust me, you're going to need me one day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's worked out for dividends for me. And then realtors, you know, I don't really go for realtors that are, you know, top dogs. You know, I'm 2 months in, you know, it's just not a good fit. They're going to give me the who are you type of thing. So I like to grow with people. I attack, you know, younger agents that are just up and coming, you know, and then go from there. So that's worked out for me.
How do you maintain your connections? Because I'm sure real estate, mortgage, everything, it's a lot of people you're talking to every single day.
So like I said, I'm a big on, especially for business partners and just, you know, people that help me grow my business. I don't like to look at it as a business partner, more of like a friendship. Every one of my realtors, I check in with them every week. You know, some of them call me every single day. But
how long does that normally take?
What do you mean?
I'm sure you don't do it in one sitting, but like, how much of your time does checking up on people and making sure people are okay?
So, I pick certain days for certain things. For example, every Monday I call. I mean, every Tuesday.
Yeah, run us through the schedule.
Every Tuesday. So every Monday I call, you know, my past clients or, you know, people I'm working with right now. Every Tuesday, that's for realtors. You know, who's you know, working with me right now? How can I better help you? You know, have we done something before? You know, do you need this, that? Wednesday's a big prospecting day for me. Tomorrow I got a meeting set up. Thursday, like I said, I couldn't make it. I got another meetup. So Thursday, and then Friday it's a mixture of everything. What needs to get done before the weekend? Because a lot of people that are applying for a mortgage take off weekends.
Yeah.
If we need deadlines to hit, hey, we need these documents. So let's get it in before on Friday. So, you know, Saturday and Sunday, if you do take off and you're like, hey, I'm not texting this Courtney dude back or calling them back to get something on a weekend. So that's a big day for me too.
Do you work weekends?
Yeah.
Yeah, all weekends, or do you like
every single weekend?
You don't take a day off at all?
Dude, I was on vacation this weekend and I was still sending out emails and making calls. My flight, it's crazy. I had a flight supposed to land at 10 o'clock. What was it? Sunday. It landed at 5 a.m. in the morning. I went in my bed and I was like, I can't make it to the gym right now, but I was like, I'm not going to sleep. I just started working.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're in any type of sector where you're, you know, making commission or you got your own business and you're not working weekends, you're at a loss.
Yeah,
you won't survive.
Yeah, I mean, especially like at an open house, I know that they were talking about how you would rather go to a local lender than the bank because the bank isn't open on the weekend.
Exactly.
So if you have a problem during either closing or trying to get the mortgage in, I mean, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So
I started going to open. That was like my first outlet to like get in front of people. So I started going to open houses as soon as I got back from college because, you know, talking to like the people in my circle, hey, that's going to pay dividends. I didn't even have business cards at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to these people. I'm like, hey, I'm going to text you my number. And then, you know, those are clients that are showing up now that are, you know, ready. Or those are realtors that I work with now because I met them, created a good connection. And then we're here now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, you were walking around without business cards.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I mean, so I know you don't try to go for these top realtors, but I feel like once you get in, it's like a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
Of like, then you get all the little realtors
exactly
under them.
And then, you know, once you get the little realtors that love your service, you know, I'm getting pre-approvals out in 24 hours. That's because I'm just a workaholic.
Yeah.
So, you know,
how long does the process of a pre-approval take?
Like,
so it can
average.
Average. It can be tricky. You know, pretty much the realtors I work with now, for the most part, they send me good buyers. Just because they're the ones that I work with now, especially at the broker I just in tune with, they're seasoned. You know, they know exactly what takes them more because they have a home themselves. So, you know, they're asking a lot of questions up front. So most of those I can get it done in a couple hours. But, you know, for the other people that, you know, have no idea what a mortgage is, you know, first time home buyer, you know, they're the older generation. They don't know what a tax document is. And there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, on top of that, they're not really good with the, you know, tech and computers and stuff like that. But, you know, typically it can take, you know, like I said, typical application, you know, 1 to 3 days. You know, if the person's tech savvy and has all their documents up front, I can get in a couple hours. What's so good about my company, everything's automated. Like I can send an application to text and someone can get started on that, their basic information. And then it basically, after they put in their information, it requests docs automatically. Like I don't have to go in and request docs. So like everything's automated. So.
And then how does the split work at your company? Because I know for like at Blue Realty, you do like a mentorship and then it's like 50-50. And then after the first couple deals, it's like 65-35. Then after the first like 20, then it's like 80-20. So
yeah. So when I started, I was on a salary and then I had like a small split. Hated that. You know, it takes away a lot. But, you know, right now I'm at a position where, you know, I make the average, you know, loan amount. But, you know, I'm looking towards, you know, but that's because I have a loan partner with me. He helps me. That's Todd. He helps me out a lot. You know, he brings a wealth of knowledge that honestly I'm still learning. But after I get comfortable, you know, be on my own, you know, my split's going to be where it should be. So right now I'm at, it goes by BIPs. That's what they call commission. So right now I make 1% of a loan.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're shit.
Yeah, no, I know.
When you don't have a loan partner or loan assistance with you, you can make 1.5%.
Okay.
And when I first started out, I only made 0.50%. So you think about it.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
And I had when I first started, I had all these leads coming in, and I'm like they're just now going to start closing back to back to back. So I want to get out of this as soon as possible because once it comes down to it, if you run the numbers, it's not worth it. And starting off with salary, I understand. You got to learn a lot to learn. I jumped in, didn't know what a mortgage was. I just took the test, knew the basics. I didn't know how to go through an application, anything. And I literally.
So what's on the test if you don't know how to go through the application?
It's a complete opposite of what actually goes on.
That's the same with real estate.
Yeah.
Because it all dates back to stuff that's
it's the laws, regulations.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Okay. So unless you're going to be a mortgage attorney or a real estate attorney, you truly don't need to learn it.
So, once I got through that point, I used to I used to go in the office at 7 a.m. and then leave at 6. And even when I go home, I would still I have to learn this stuff because I would be talking to people and I'd be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's not a fun feeling at all.
Yeah, especially it's someone's biggest purchase of their life.
And you act like I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, and that didn't sit well with me. So I put in so much, just the basic stuff. I put in so much time and effort to learn certain things that it's helped me so far.
And that's how anything starts too.
And there's still people that in this industry that don't know a lot of stuff because it's so broad. There's so many different rules and regulations that transform
in different areas that you work in.
It's yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of jump back to what you said before.
Yeah.
You get 1% of the loan amount. So who pays you the 1%? Is it the banks that pay you the 1%?
So it's basically I work for Cross Country Mortgage. So basically the company pays me. Good thing about our company, we don't work for a broker or something like that where they charge origination fees to the customer. A lot of those companies, they buy down the interest rate, but on the back end, the customer is paying for it. My company, the reason why I have the split I have, a lot of brokers, they can make upwards of 2%, 3% if they wanted to. My company has a cap, so it's 1.5. That lets me, do more deals at a good interest rate. So I'm, in a way you have more volume, you know what I mean? Instead of just sticking towards the total loan amount or the most amount of money I can make. And basically it's in a process where, you can really screw your customer over. And I like the situation I'm in right now.
So do you get more money, the more interest that is on the loan, meaning it's better for the bank?
So the lower interest rate you offer someone.
Correct.
So someone can buy down the interest rate. So say we're at, we're hanging low 3s right now. Someone can buy it down all the way to 2.5, but that would be what's called a origination fee. You're buying down your interest rate. So.
Okay.
Oh, so it means they would pay off what would be the other.
Yeah. So my company, we have the interest rate low hanging 3s where the interest rates are at. Another company can step in. Hey, I can get you a lower interest rate. Not until you're really paying for it. They just put in the charges, and then you'll never know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something that's a good.
I mean, it's good that you hopped off salary, to be honest, because I mean, the guy from Shark Tank says, I think Kevin O'Leary says, he says that salary is a drug that they give you to forget about money.
Yeah,
and it's true.
Yeah, because
of the fact that it's I mean, I was working at Publix for 4 years. I was pretty satisfied, and then I got to the point where I was like, what am I doing? I know I'm only 18 because I thought, you have to be a certain age to start a business. And I'm like, what the fuck? So
it makes no sense. Even when you say that, it's what?
Yeah. So then I just had this real, this coming to heart where I'm like, what am I doing? So I walk in, I put in my 2 weeks on the spot, no conversation, no nothing.
I love it.
And then I start to work for myself. My first work for myself job was I did DoorDash.
Yeah.
And I was kind of working for myself. But that was the independence I want. And then after that, I was like, oh, well, I'm 18 now, so I can get my real estate license.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the path I took. So it's independence is amazing.
Yeah, and then a lot of people talk about freedom, and especially when you're not working a salary, you don't have to wake up and well, I still wake up early as hell.
Yeah.
But a lot of people they're stuck in what you guys probably heard, the rat race. They work their 9 to 5 every single week.
Of course.
There's no change in their schedule. There's no, upbringing to where, I can make X amount, like you're stuck. It's a constant wheel. There's no growth. Even if you wanted to go to your boss and be like, hey, I want a promotion, you're screwed. You're not getting it.
And there's only a cap to that. Even if you do, there's only a cap to it.
Oh, you want a raise? Oh, I'll give you 20-cent raise.
Yeah. And I think also when people think about entrepreneurship and working off commissions or anything like that, they think of the fear. It's just like,
I can't make money.
But the thing is, I wake up scared shitless every single day, but that makes me get out of bed faster, one. And two, it's like I push even harder than I ever would.
You have a different drive.
It's a different drive. And it's like some people you can't really comprehend it. It's like when you're really on your own and you're figuring out what you need to do, it's a different feel. It feels good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
During, not so much. Yeah. But it's like the pain that's worth it.
It's awesome.
Because you can see an end to it. And you can see a goal that you're driving towards.
So like before this, so in high school I worked some salary positions like camp counselor and stuff like that. In high school, I started DoorDash for a little bit, and then I got into a sales job. It was like a direct marketing company with AT&T. After I worked that sales job, it was 100% commission. I was like, I would never go back to a salary job.
Yeah.
Like I was making more than my parents ever made, and I only did it for a summer.
Yeah.
Like my weekly, like it was like ridiculous. And
Where
it's
at?
because it's called Annex Incorporated. But just looking at the numbers, I was like,
I knew things are crazy. And first of all, I don't want to dock a salary job. Because,
there's salary jobs that are amazing.
Like what I have right now is like when I work with a real estate broker, just a contract. It's a salary job where it's like I get paid every single week. And that stability has saved me in my business ventures so much because I have a cushion. Like this past 2 weeks was complete hell. Yeah. My bank account went to complete zero. I had to save this, put this fire. Like, it's like when everything crumbled, I figured out all my back areas where things are just bad. But it was bad. Yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have $50 in my main. Like I have multiple accounts, but like $50 in my main account where I only want to spend. And even then, like I had a cushion of an extra couple $1,000s in my other accounts. But like the $50 is like next Friday, I'm gonna have another check. It's okay. Yeah. And that initial phase of building, especially when you have payments, you have bills and things like that, it's okay until you take that fully big leap, which I will do within a year or two, hopefully. So I don't want to dock salary jobs, and that's a big thing as well. People want to go straight into. I don't want to work a salary job. I want to go straight into real estate, or I'm not. That's not no disrespect at all. You know what I'm saying, or mortgages or anything like that. When you can get a salary job, get a little more experience, and everyone has their own path, and I say that as well. But it's always good to look at all the alternatives, and like Sean always hits me is like, why are you going to college still? Yeah. Because like I have a really good business, I make a lot of money, I'm having a lot of fun. What's the point of college? And I keep going back to saying it's like it's the experience of it. I didn't even go in person. It's not like the college experience, but the experience of gaining more knowledge, learning how to study, learning how to do certain tasks successfully, doing stuff that I really hate. That's where I find value, and everyone finds their own value in different things.
So one thing I take away from college, I hated it, honestly. Yeah. Actually, there's multiple things. I love playing football. Yeah. Football is created.
Did you play football in college?
Yeah. Okay. Football has created my mindset. It's branded my mindset. Yeah. I'm just a grinder. Yeah. I love to work as hard as possible. There's not a lot of people that like to work hard, and that's the reason why they can't do certain positions like this where you're 100% commission, because the work is just not there. You have to work extremely hard. Yeah. And then number two, just being on my own in college, just learning how to finagle in certain situations. It's been great to me. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't knock college. A lot of people, they find themselves in college, whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, but the one thing that I'm saying is like you shouldn't go to college knowing that you're gonna take on $1,000 student loan.
And that's why I go to community college.
I look at student loans every day, dude. And
you have student loans?
No.
Okay.
But I can tell you right now, a lot of people are trapped. You have over $100,000 in student loan debt.
My gosh.
And you're making what, $30,000, $40,000 a year?
That's brutal.
And I just it's crazy that people in America have to go through that. Like, I don't know who told you to take on that debt or what you're going to school for.
Well, because they make that whole propaganda where they say, "Oh, it's different though." Yeah. It's not the same type of debt as a home.
But it's so crazy that,
What does that mean?
I feel like people are not researching the job that they want or the career they want to go in.
Well, again, back to the propaganda of college where they say you'll find what you're doing in college. You're not going to research before you go to college and then do it. You figure out what you're doing in college. So then, come on.
And then when I was in college, I was still saying this, like, why are you guys here? Like, there's people that, not to knock it, but going to this college for music or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you know how easy it is to become your own artist?
Oh my gosh.
There's certain things where you could just record. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if that's something that you really like, how can I go to college how can I not go to college have you thought of that?
Yeah.
Or were you just branded, oh, I need to go to college where I'm going to be a failure?
Yeah. And then what my mentor Jeff Vespa, he went to, all my mentors went to college, but one of my biggest mentors went to what was it, Los Angeles Film Academy. I forgot which one. It was like one big film academy in Los Angeles, but he kept pushing me. He go to film school because I'm into film and photography. He go to film school, and I kept saying why, and I didn't understand. But he kept going back to the argument. We're saying it's the time. It's, you get 4 years, and that's why I understand the music majors and the drama majors and things like that, because when you're throw yourself out into the real world, you're gonna have to take a job. You're gonna have to do things to spend for yourself. Money is just not easy like that.
Yeah.
So when they go to college, they say you'll have time to really work on your craft and grow as a creative, because sometimes people need that.
Yeah.
But then my counter argument to that is always, but if you're taking on a loan, that time, you're paying for that time. So regardless.
I'll say this. You know, a lot of people, the certain situation they have to take out a loan.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with that though. But just know how you're going to pay that back.
100%.
For example, you want to apply to get a mortgage, or you want to apply to get any type of loan, you know, car, you know, they're going to look at their certain stuff. So, for example, when you're in the mortgage industry, we want what's called a debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
That takes into account how much liabilities you have a month. So let's say, for example, you got $100,000 in student loan debt. We 1% that to 5% that. So it's going to show you're paying $1,000 a month on student loan debt. Think about it. You want a house, you're only making $40,000 a month. You're never gonna be able to buy a house.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's certain things like that. Just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
A lot of people are so uneducated, and you know, it stems back to their parents too. You know, their parents went to college, and you know, they think, oh, that's the big we have to go to college.
It's a different era.
You're gonna get this
it's a whole
house.
different era.
You know, you're gonna, you know, American dream, whatever, and it's changed. You don't have to go to college. There's plenty of people that I know have never stepped foot into college and are doing well off themselves, and even better than people that have been to college for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's truly fair, but it's like also, it's like I could be going to business school for 4 years, and I could be doing real estate in college for 4 years.
Yeah.
But me learning real estate in college, I could do that in the real world.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I can fuck up.
Yeah.
And I can learn rather than I fail a test. And what am I truly learning on paper?
And it's so great that we're at such a young age. I don't know how I'm 22.
I'm 19.
18.
Okay, so we're at such a young age to where like we can make mistakes. We can find what truly is our, you know, our passion or drive. You know, I truly think mortgages are I love it. I wake up every day. I love exactly what I do. I love helping people. I love meeting new people. And, you know, a lot of people, they fall into the trap to where I guess they're finding themselves. And that's something that I found myself at a very young age.
Yeah,
I always knew I wanted to be in real estate, and it comes down to like, have you sat down and really had a talk with yourself what you truly want to do in this life?
But the thing about finding yourself is you dabbled in other stuff as well. I'm sure you have. You tried different things. You figured out, that's not for me. Like, that's where I found myself. Like, I found myself in high school, and that's where you can say you found yourself, because I failed.
Yeah,
and people don't realize, like, the way to find is to fail.
You have to fail.
Mm-hmm. You know, I failed so many times. I will say a lot
failing.
Of course. Like, I feel dude.
I try new things every day. I'm still failing.
Every week, I'm just like, man, I messed up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, we're at an age with no kids. We don't live on our own yet. We do all this different stuff. And I will say, people have situations where they have to go out. They have to, and that's hard. But I'm saying for the people that can, and why would you go in and on your own so fast? Why would you go to college, take on loans so fast when we can build we can strive for $1 million business, completely crumble it where you break connections, you burn bridges, like it just happens, and you're like, oh wait, I'm only 22.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You have like 60 more years to go, bud.
Like when the first time I walked into my office, and everyone thought I was like 26, 28.
Yeah.
So I told them
I thought you were like 28.
I told them my age, and I'm like, hey, at the time I was 21 years old. And they're like, you're 21. And it's because a lot of people, like, for example, 100% commission, they won't step in until they got, you know, a lot of people that, for example, a lot of people go into mortgages because they have real estate partners already. I'm ground up, and I love it that way.
Yeah.
Because I can grow with certain people that I never would have met if I wasn't in mortgages. And that's been great so far.
Yeah, the connections, man. And when you throw yourself out there, it's almost Will Smith had this one video where he was just like, I think it was either Jaden Smith or Will Smith, but they were talking about Will Smith, and he was saying the difference between Jaden Smith and Will Smith is Will Smith has that one more go, and they're saying Jaden Smith and Will Smith are going on an airplane and going skydiving, and then Jaden Smith said, that was it, that's my thing, I'm done, I'm out of it. And then Will Smith's like, no, we're jumping, and he like, even though he didn't want to as well, they jumped, and then it's like after you take that initial step, like you throw yourself in there, it's gonna suck, you're gonna feel the pain, you're gonna feel the torture, like a few moments later you feel good. You're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. The biggest thing that I had a problem with, like my biggest fear growing a business was bringing people on. Especially as a photographer, it's a very skill-based, art-based thing where it's very creative. I want to do my own thing type thing. So to bring on a second photographer, I was scared shitless, bro. Like, I couldn't even fathom. I was like, I can't trust someone with my name and stuff like that. They're going to ruin my name. Exactly. They're going to mess up and it's going to be whatever. I worked so hard to build this. Brought in a guy. Trained him. It was a good time. I was like, oh, this wasn't so bad. And then just recently, I brought in another dude. I couldn't go to this one shoot. Sent him out. Didn't hold up to standards. It was completely messed it up. It was like, oh, man, I wish you did better. They were mad at me. My name was completely ruined for that person. My biggest fear came true. It was worse. Like, that was just this week. I was freaking out. But then after, I realized it's going to be okay. Everything was fine after that. Like, you figured it out. I gave him a refund. It was like, you just keep moving. I was like, that was what I was scared about. I'm telling you, like, how people are afraid of spiders, that's what me was bringing on people. And then I get over that fear, and I'm just like, dude. And then now I picture, like, my next biggest fear is, like, taking risks, putting all my money into one thing and something like that. It's not that bad.
It isn't.
It's like the imagination scales things way beyond our perspective.
You know, just starting a business or, you know, real estate, anything is taking a risk. Especially if you don't know the outcome. I mean, you can have the outcome planned out, or, you know, how much money you can make or certain stuff like that. But, you know, there's certain factors that come in that are out of control. Completely out of control. For example, when I first started, you know, my mentor, you know, he told me the first 6 months, you're not going to make anything. You're going to be prospecting people that probably won't close a loan for the next, you know, 6 months, 3 months. I broke that curve, by the way. But it's because, you know, a lot of people don't hit the ground running how they should. Like I said, when I touched my first day back in Florida, I was at open houses. And that's because I did not want to go 6 months without making money. And
it's a mental block, because I thought that too. It's just like when I got into photography, I was like, man, I'm going to have to do free shoots for like a year before I can make anything. I guess I was told that somewhere. I don't know where I got the information, but that was my mindset. I was like, I need to do cheap shoots. I need to do free shoots in order to get anywhere. I had a friend, Keon Gooding. Dude, I don't know if you've seen No Cap Visions. He does like a lot of sports films.
I think I have,
He was like my bro. I always did his photos for his Instagram. We're like really good friends for a while. He's like, I want to get into photography. I was like, all right, get yourself a camera. He got himself a camera. Bro, it hasn't even been 6 months. He's working with NFL athletes. And then I like it almost like a self-inflict. I was like, wait, how? And I love it too. Like my friends, it's like a competition. It's not a competition, but it's like a friendly, like, yo, you're doing great, you're doing good. We all support each other, but I want to be better than you type thing. So when I see that, and I can tell he got better than me in certain aspects, like how the fuck did that happen? Dude. I was mad. And then, but it was like, we talk about it all the time. I was like, yo, how? And then we talk about it and then we dissect it. And he was just like, I just don't have that mental block. He just doesn't have the mental block that says, I'm going to have to wait this amount of time to make this money. He just finds a problem, fixes it, moves on next day.
And I feel like that's how it should be. A lot of people are scared to take risks. I don't know where that comes from. I never was STEM like that.
I think it's taught. It's definitely taught.
I'm always a person to just jump in front of anything. For example, like,
well, that's that football. That's the football mindset. Same thing with Sean. You two are just like, you don't think.
Just go. Like,
I mean, you definitely think, but you know.
Like I'll go out to eat or something, and I swear I'll talk to someone I've never met before. And a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't just jump into a situation and just.
I'm telling you, our biggest fears are not as big as we think, and that's what I like. That's the season of my life right now where I'm just realizing it's not that bad.
I feel like you read how to influence friends and
how to win friends, influence people.
How to win friends and influence people. I feel like you read that just because of the fact that like that's the kind of vibe I get, because it's like the rules that they teach you in that book is communication.
I still have to read that.
So book. You know what's crazy? Never been a big reader at all. I just recently started reading.
Do you read or audiobook?
So I do a mixture of both.
Okay.
When I go into the gym, when I'm like running or whatever, or walking, whatever, I'll hit some audiobooks just to get my day started. And then when I'm working out, I like to listen to music.
Of course.
But if you actually sit down, I like to do at least 15 to 30 minutes and sit down and read. I like to do it, especially when I go to bed at night. And
that's a great way to go to bed.
It's crazy that people don't do this on a regular basis. For me, I've never I hate reading. I still hate reading.
Well, it's the thing that
I've put it in my schedule to start reading, and it's helped me.
Yeah, growing up, we were forced books.
Yeah,
and that's all. My girlfriend, she's super smart, bro. Like she's at FSU doing the nursing program and everything like that. And then she's done so many books and so many classes in high school that she just doesn't enjoy reading them. And it's so sad because I found so many cool books that I just found interesting. And it's the fact that you have to find something that you actually want to read. Because when I read books, my books won't inspire other people. Like when I read certain books, I'm inspired. That may not inspire the next person. You have to find what really works for you.
The first book I read, what's it called? It's about Malcolm Gladwell. It talks about 10,000 hours to search something.
Yeah.
To where,
to perfect something.
Something. So, I would literally, when I started doing mortgage, I was like, how can I get to 10,000 hours? Mm-hmm. There's only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
So my first part was studying for the test. So I devoted I don't know if you guys know that, a schedule of a student athlete. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I watch those videos.
So I would wake up around 5 a.m. I would have weights around 6.
What school? Wait, what school were you D1?
I went to a D2 school in West Virginia called Alderson Broaddus.
Wow.
So I would wake up at 5 a.m. every morning.
Yeah.
Get to weights around 5:30.
Oh my gosh.
Lift to 8:30. Run to 8:30. After that, I would have classes around 12 to 3. So what I would do from after I get a lift, I would take a shower and just study.
Yeah.
Learn stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even care about the school aspect because when you're a student athlete, it's pretty much handed to you.
Yeah.
So I whenever I was in college, I was thinking what am I gonna do when I graduate? Everyone's I'll just find a job. I still know people now that don't know what they're doing. They're just living at home, just going by.
Yeah.
Where's that job at? People have business degrees. What job you got? I was talking to one of my friends in Maryland. He was yeah, I'm still searching for a job. I had an interview to make $15 an hour. Are you kidding me?
And they're bragging about it too.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, it's terrible.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, $6,000 a month is a bad month. Exactly. I don't understand.
I'm thinking how can I line stuff up to get to I haven't hit a 10K month yet. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't hit one.
Yeah.
But I'm lining things up to how the hell can I reach that as soon as possible.
It's on your mind. It's on my mind, dude. That's on my mind. It's 10,000.
Especially when when you're in real estate, it's a transaction base. So for example, you can get a client and that client won't officially, you won't get paid till about it can be 3, 6. It can't be 1 month, 2 months,
or it could be a year.
Year.
So I mean, what was nice about my first deal is I made more money in my first deal than I did all 4 years of working at Publix just by a call. I called someone. I said, "Hey, you want me to sell your house?"
And I don't know.
Paycheck in the mail.
I don't know if you're a big cold call person, but when I first started sales in general, I wasn't a big cold call person. I hated it, but just that have worked up. I've cold called realtors before, and they're like, "Hey, no one has ever picked up the phone and called me and had a conversation." Yeah. So it's certain things that people are scared to do. Pick up the phone and call a random person. Yeah. Hey, can I sell your house for you?
And that's what I just did. Right before you guys came, I called and now I have an appointment at 6.
Yeah.
But that appointment at 6 could be $4,000, $5,000 handed to me.
Yeah.
Handed to me. So I mean, it's just about taking that initial step and just cold calling. And what you do, you prospect and you set out a certain time.
Yeah.
Because realtors make you money and you make realtors money.
Yeah. And it's not even making realtors money. I make their transaction better. If
Fair.
you have a shitty mortgage person
I've heard horror stories.
If you have a shitty mortgage person in your corner, it's tough.
Explain that. Elaborate.
So a lot of people, they work with companies, for example, a bank or, person that's been in the industry for, 50 plus years. It really doesn't care because they're so, saturated with business. So, they probably won't answer a phone call. They probably won't update a client. And me, I'm hitting on every point that the other person didn't do. So it's a free go for me. But, there's a lot of stuff that, like I said, especially when you're building a book, you have to provide value. A lot of people don't provide value and they'll never, have their fruits of labor.
Of course.
So just to kind of finalize things, what are your like long-term goals? Like what do you see yourself doing in the future? A year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and then, you know.
So like I said when we first started, I'm a big saver. Every month I'm stashing away money. My next big goal is getting my first investment property. After that, I put toward a plan to where, every year I want to buy at least one. After that, after I get to 5, start refinancing them and, just keep stacking my capital, investing in different routes. Once, I get to a point where, everything's pretty automated, I get assistants on my team and stuff like that. I feel like what's next from there? I love traveling. In the certain situation I'm at, I can't really travel a lot because I'm so young in my career, but, that's something that I do want to do a lot. But, goals to me, I hate people that have a big ass freaking long-term goal. I'm really big on short-term goals.
Gary Vee's big on that.
Really big on short-term goals. Like, what can I do today to get me to tomorrow? What can I do today to get me to next week? What can I do to this month to get me to next month? What can I do this month or these next 3 months, 6 months to get me to next year? I don't really go through the process of 5-year, 10-year goals. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
And your 10-year goal or your 30-year goal will come from the small goals. Yeah. You'll find out what exactly you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with that because people are really big on like find your purpose, find your passion, and find what you really want to do. What's your end goal? And they ask that, what's your end goal? And it's like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm just gonna do my best at what I do.
Like I love the whole process of investing. Like I said, my parents are into it, and that's paid off dividends for me. So that's something I know I want to do, but it has to be the right time, right place, and I have to pull the trigger at like how they did. I don't want to jump into something that I'm not ready for.
Of course, that's fair.
Because a lot of people can go into investment and that thing crash and burns, and they're like, I wish I never would have done this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people when they got into the market in 2000. Before 2008, they thought they were getting the best investment property ever. The market crashed and they were to pieces. They went foreclosed.
Yeah.
So, you gotta, I just want to be in the right situation at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what you're doing. I feel like you're just slowly putting like all the small puzzle pieces. And then again, like the 10-year goals, the puzzle's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love it. I respect it. And honestly, it was fucking fantastic having you on.
It was a pleasure. You,
so, just to kind of finalize thing, do you want to plug any socials, your number, email, whatever? What's the best way to reach you and contact you?
You can actually reach me on my website if you have any mortgage questions. CourtneyDouglasCCM.com. My social media is Courtney_Douglas, FL, Florida. Facebook, Courtney Douglas. And my number is 954-328-4089. I like to give out my number a lot. A lot of people reach out to me, and I'm pretty reachable. Like I said, I'm open to talk to anyone. I like to, provide a resource to anyone, anything.
Yeah. Oh man, I appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem, dude.